world. This is the Fan and Fanatic Podcast. I'm Parker Gerlecki, aka the Fan and Fanatic, and with me as always is my broadcast partner,
Dad,
aka Ryan Gerlecki. I've got a passion for all things sports. So, on the Fan and Fanatic Podcast, we'll talk to anyone and everyone from all over the world of sports who will sit still long enough to answer my questions.
that's right. Now, as a result of complications from severe brain damage at birth, unfortunately, Parker will never be able to physically play sports, but that cannot and has never stopped him from loving everything about sports and dreaming of a career in broadcasting. So each of our guests graciously gives of their time on this podcast to invest in Parker's dream and to help him be part of the sports world he loves so dearly.
Now, let's play ball! Welcome back, Fanatic Addicts, to the Fan and Fanatic Podcast. It's my absolute honor to introduce my guest today, Mr. Reese Dismukes. So, Mr. Dismukes, before we start, I need to tell you something. So, do you listen to the Auburn games on the radio by any chance?
It depends. Sometimes I do. It kind of depends on what I got going on that Saturday.
So, you know so have you ever heard the voice that says, "You've been listening to the Outdoor Alabama countdown to kickoff. Now it's game time. Let's go back to blah, 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 blah. Here's the, alongside blah, 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 blah. Here's the voice of the Tigers, Andy Burcham."
I believe so, yes.
I actually know the guy that does that. His name is Mark Aston, Markaston. So I just want to shout him out. So anyways,
Nice.
So yeah, I just wanted to get that
He
out of
does
the
a
way.
good job.
Yes, he does. I just wanted to get that out of the way before we started. Anyways, please tell everyone who you are, where you're from, and your connection to the sports world.
Well, Parker, thanks for having me. I appreciate you asking me to come on.
Well, thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah. My name is Reese Dismukes. I'm from Spanish Fort, Alabama. Grew up in Spanish Fort and played at Spanish Fort High School. Played football, golf, tennis. Played all the sports as much as I could. Was fortunate enough to receive scholarship offers. My first one came from Alabama. And my final three came down to Alabama, Florida State, and Auburn. And my mom had went to Auburn, and it was really, at the end of the day, for me, it was about playing time and staying in the state of Alabama. Growing up in South Alabama, being a per capita, one of the areas in the country that, a lot of players come from, in the NFL and in college. It's just been it's had a history of producing talent. So, and then just being in the state of Alabama, if you go play at Auburn or Alabama, you're pretty much, if you do a good job and you're respectful and you meet the right people, you should have an opportunity at work for the long haul. So, that gave me the opportunity to stay in state. So, had a scholarship, went to Auburn, played football there for 4 years, played center, had a really good career, on paper, started 50 games, a lot of bumps along the road, but, and then I went and played, in the NFL, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Carolina Panthers, and, short stint with the Denver Broncos. So, ultimately my career ended, because of my shoulders. The Denver Broncos wanted to put a waiver on my contract on my shoulders, saying they said I had arthritis and bone spurs, and they wanted to put in the contract if I was to hurt either of my shoulders that they could just cut me. So my agent advised us not to sign that deal, and we at that point we moved on. When you're a rookie, everything's taken care of, but this was going into year 3, and you go to a rookie mini camp, you try out, you make the roster, the camp roster, you get a futures contract. And at that point, if you're not a rookie, you're having to pay your own way. So, you're not, in the off season, in the NFL, I'm sure it's up from now, but when I was there, you were only getting paid like $1,200 a week. in the off season. So say you go try out with a New York, you're not even going to be able to live up there.
Yeah.
You're going to be in debt. But so my football career, that was pretty much, football is my sports as far as what I'm known for. But these days it's just golf and tennis.
Hold on, wait. So you mean to tell me you had a scholarship offer at FSU? So you could have. So instead of you getting beat by FSU, you could have been the one doing the beating.
Yeah, yeah, I could have, but I wouldn't change it. We to be able to do what we did in 2013, going, I guess it was 12-2 or whatever we ended up going, but we to come back from going 3-9 the year before to have that season with our team and the people I came in with and all that, it was just I wouldn't change anything if I had to go back and do it all over again.
So you were the one that snapped to Nick Marshall, who then threw to Ricardo Lewis. Was that like a surreal moment for you?
I had a pretty good seat in that house that night. Ricardo was always a guy that when I was there, he was an unbelievable player, extremely fast. One of the best athletes on the team. But for a while there, he had some concerns catching the ball. So when it got tipped up to him right in his hand, it was like it couldn't have happened any better.
Are you still connecting with those guys like Chris Davis and Ricardo Lewis and that sort of thing, and those guys?
Yeah, we actually had our reunion.
Yeah, 10 years, baby. 10 years.
Yeah, 2013 SEC championship. We beat Missouri pretty bad that night.
Oh, yeah.
We were there.
Yeah.
We were at all those games actually in 2013.
So here's the awkward part. My dad is an FSU guy, so he was at the national championship game, and when FSU scored that touchdown with 19 seconds left, all the FSU fans were losing their minds, and my dad said, "Oh, we could still lose this game by 30 points." But anyways,
yeah, I was sitting around all these Florida State fans, and we go up with 19 seconds left, and I said, I was in Jordan-Hare Stadium for the miracle against Georgia and the kick six. We could still lose this game. Y'all need to shut your mouths and sit down and wait till it hits 0-0. So,
yeah, no, but I'm connected with those guys. I still communicate with Kozan quite a bit, Cody Parkey, Jay Prosh,
CD,
Jeff Whitaker,
Chris Davis.
Mayday, Chris Davis, every time I see him, Whitehead, talk to him some. It's tough as you get older and everybody goes about doing their next stage of life. But it was really good, getting to see everybody, and everybody's so busy these days. So it's really, it can be difficult, but it's when I do get to see them, it's always a good time.
So, hey, Parker, let me jump in real quick.
Hold on, wait.
Obviously you were front and literally center for the catch against Georgia. Where were you during the kick six? On the sideline? Like, what was your vantage point?
Yeah, so kick six, I thought we were going to overtime the whole time. So, me and Malzahn were talking about, what we're going to do on the toss. At overtime, figuring that out. And then I'm looking for Chris Davis to figure out where he is because me and him were the captains. So next thing you know, someone tells me that he's, Malzahn's like, I got him back there to catch the kick. I'm like, okay. In case he's short. And next thing you know, he's running by and the whole time I'm just trying to keep people back. Everybody's jumping up and down and about to run on the field, crazy. And I'm like, look, stay back, trying to hold everybody back so we didn't have any penalties. The rest is history.
I would really, I'm not trying to sound greedy, but I would really like to have like those guys on the podcast, like Chris Davis or Ricardo Lewis or any of those guys from the 2013 team.
Okay. Well, I can do whatever I can to, help you out with that. that's not as hard as it sounds. So you just let me know, and I can do whatever I can to make it happen.
So
we got to flip the balance
hey,
on this
hold
podcast.
on, stop,
no, Parker, hold on.
Stop.
Wait, no. I think this is important because the front end of this podcast, several episodes, were a whole bunch of people connected to Alabama, and then like
yes,
a guy in Mississippi State. So like we need to shift the balance a little bit too.
So like I said before, so like I was going to say, what was your first year in college? When was that?
2011.
So that was after that was after the championship game against South Carolina.
Yes, that was they played Auburn played Oregon and they had played South Carolina the year before in the SEC championship. And then beat one. I actually graduated high school early, so I came into Auburn actually January 7th. I think the Fiesta Bowl when we played Oregon was actually on January 10th, so I was actually already at Auburn. So my when they came back, we did the championship parade and the party and Jordan Hare and all that. And, my first semester was pretty fun. I was part of the team. It was like we just won a national championship, but I actually wasn't there when they won it. So it was I got to reap the benefits. But 2011, Barrett Trotter was our quarterback. And then he had gotten hurt, and we were placing 4 guys up front on the offensive line. It was a tall challenge. Ryan Pugh, Lee Zimba, Isom, Mike Berry, all those guys had moved on. So we had a tall challenge, but we got Barrett and the other quarterbacks killed a few times, but we did the best we could.
By the way, I hope I wasn't rude when I was trying to say something while my father was trying to say something. Was that rude of me?
No,
I'm used to it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, and by the way, did you always play? Okay, sorry. Anyways, back to you. Did you always play center?
Well, I played offensive line my whole career, except for the Little League. I played a few years. It tackle. I was always the big guy. I had a stripe on my helmet,
Yes, sir. So who was your favorite coach or mentor and why?
Ooh, I'd probably say my high school coach, my high school offensive line coach for the first 3 years of high school, Matthew Wells. He played football at Troy. He's now a high school. I think he's the run game coordinator and O-line coach here at Daphne High School. Here now down in South Alabama. But he I would say he had the most impact on my career, from teaching me the game and really giving me the foundation that I needed to, football wise. He really taught it from the back end, top end, from the ground up. He laid an extremely knowledgeable foundation for me to grow on and to learn from. And football is not like the X's and O's. It's like a math problem. These days they've got some crazy ways to do math, but with football, like I don't think they're bringing Common Core into football. But it's kind of the same thing. It doesn't matter which level you're at; it just kind of speeds up. So, Coach Wells really, gave me all the tools I needed to build a career on.
So, Dad, do you have any questions for Mr. Dismukes?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about coaches because you mentioned that you started in the NFL at Pittsburgh, and Mike Tomlin is near and dear to my heart. I did my undergrad at William & Mary, and that's where he's from. And we don't have a whole lot of claims to fame. 2 of them, our 2 biggest are coaches right now in the NFL. So, I mean, who's
the other one?
Did you know him well?
Wait, who's the other
Sean
one?
McDermott.
Sean
McDermott.
Go ahead, Reese.
Coach Tomlin. I wasn't in Pittsburgh crazy long, but we had, we had met at the combine and the Senior Bowl, and he came around Auburn a few times. I mean, he's a super nice guy. I mean, he had, the respect of the locker room, and you had Pouncey and Antonio Brown. All those guys were there when I was there, and it was the environment he ran, the Rooneys and all that that owned the Steelers. I mean, it's a historic franchise. There's a lot of history, the camp at Latrobe, that place, and you got monks walking around, and it's like a monastery, and it's just the whole Pittsburgh vibe is it's a nation, the terrible towels or whatever, all that stuff. I mean, Coach Tomlin was super nice, and Munchak was my O-line coach there, and he was he was a beast. I think he's in the Hall of Fame, but he I like Pittsburgh. I like my time there. It just it didn't work out.
So you played a ton. What is the greatest moment, or some of the greatest moments?
I'd say probably just 2013. Really coming off that 3-9 year, and really zero expectations. Really, the only all you got is the people in the room with you. Really, no one else outside of that room or team mattered. I mean, our goal was literally about doing whatever we could to get better each and every day, each and every game, and just go out to war with your brothers. And going into the Georgia game, the Miracle and Jordan Hare, going into the Iron Bowl, going into that Georgia game, Georgia, we were this rushing powerhouse. Nobody could stop us. And, everybody'd say, well, Auburn's not going to have the same success against Georgia. They're averaging giving up 85 yards rushing a game. And then to go into that game and put 320, 350, same with Alabama, they're giving up 73 yards rushing a game, whatever it was. I think it was in the 70s, could have been low 80s. But to go in there and to put 350 on them, I mean, make them like it. I mean, there's nothing more rewarding than imposing your will on a unit in front of you. And that's what we did. And, Jay Prosh, and us five up front, and Trey Mason, Nick Marshall. I mean, we had a good thing going, and when running the football, you got to the receivers got to block as well, or you don't get those big plays, and we all took it upon ourselves to do whatever we had to do to make it happen. So that was I guess my what I look back and enjoy, feel like I accomplished, and that was that's what I lean my hat on.
So in 2014, Auburn played a road game against Kansas State. How was the atmosphere in Manhattan? Yes,
Manhattan, Kansas. It was man, that place was rocking. I tell you, that was one of the loudest places I played. It was a cool night. That was when they had I forget that coach's name, maybe Snyder.
Bill Snyder.
Yeah, Snyder. He was a legend in that arena. But before the game, the people were very well respectful of us coming in, and they they had motorcycles going around the field before the game. It's like a little half track before the game. They're just revving them up, and the crowd's going crazy. I mean, it's just, it's like, hell yeah, this is going to be a fun one tonight, And then, we got out. It was lucky we got out there with a win. They played hard, and we played hard, and we didn't necessarily play our best game, but it was a tough challenge on the road for sure.
Not to mention their mascot literally looks like a human with a wildcat head.
Yeah,
can't trust that.
No.
But anyways, what is your favorite state? Here's a 2-part question for you. What is your favorite stadium or arena you've played in, other than with an unbiased? So, give me your unbiased opinion. Your favorite stadium arena you've played in. Unbiased opinion, like I said.
Well, obviously Jordan Hare is probably is my my number one. Anytime you get to sit it up there is a great opportunity. But road stadiums. I mean, the Rose Bowl was really cool. Just to that environment, to see AC/DC played here, and the Rolling Stones, just like all the Super Bowl, just the crazy events that happened there. That was pretty cool. But I mean, I would say my favorite road environment in the SEC is Bryant-Denny, Alabama. There's I mean, right now I'm getting chills on my back thinking about it, walking into that hostile environment. Literally everyone in there hates you. I mean, they literally they would probably pee on you if you let them, I mean, if it was legal, they'd piss on your leg if you weren't looking and nobody else was. But I mean, just there's literally, when you walk into that type of environment, you are literally put in a corner, backed up against the wall, lights off, can't see anything, and try and fight your way out. And if that doesn't get your blood going, I don't know what does. So, but LSU, Clemson, my freshman year, we went up there. I mean, that place was loud. They're beating on the side of got washboards they're beating on the side of. I mean, you can't even hear yourself think. I mean, you just got to look at the guy next to you and hopefully he can read your lips, because it's just, it's hard. But I mean, there was some cool stadiums in the NFL that I went to, and Levi Stadium, Super Bowl 50. That was pretty cool. Unique.
Wait, did you play in Super Bowl 50? Or did you?
I was on the team. Yes, I was on.
Which team?
The Panthers.
Oh my goodness! So you know Cam Newton.
Yes. I was with the Panthers when we went to the Super Bowl. I got there, I think, week 5 or 6.
I'm not trying to be greedy, but do you think you could get Cam on the podcast?
Probably not. No,
Oh,
I can. You have a much better chance of me getting Chris Davis to get on here than Cam Newton. No, he's above my league.
So what about Kyle Field? What is your opinion on Kyle Field?
Ooh, that's another good one. That one was really cool. Experience there. I mean, I was there before they did the renovation, and that place was loud. When we beat them down there in 2013. That is one of I think if my parents had to answer the question, they would say that was their favorite place that they went. They went on the road quite a bit, and followed me, and would always go and leave notes in my shoes and whatnot, and go check out the field. But they actually had people from Texas A&M call them when they got back to Mobile or Spanish Fort, when they got home, make sure they had a good time. They got home okay, actual Texas A&M fans. So it was, they don't boo other teams there. They sure whatever. And
my goodness,
there's the yell leaders are a little weird.
It is a little weird.
It's just kind of, I don't know, but they got more money than they know what to do with out there. So I'm sure they'll be all right.
Can I ask you another question? Did you ever get to go to Gainesville? Have you ever been to Gainesville, Florida?
I've driven through there,
but never for a game.
I looked it up to see if he had played there. I wanted to ask that question too. So
no, we were supposed to, I believe, in 2013, or 2012, but they had, when they changed, because we played them at my freshman year at home, we beat them.
Yeah,
we were actually supposed to go there in 2012, but that was the year that Missouri and A&M came into the mix. So Florida got bumped off our schedule. I actually never played Kentucky.
Did you? Because they played in 2015, if I remember correctly. Were you on the team at the time in 2015, or did you? Or was that
2014 would have been my last year.
Because because Oh yeah. Wait, hold on. So now here's the second part of the question. Your favorite stadium you visited as a fan, unbiased opinion.
Well, it's gonna go unbiased as a fan. I went to I would say as a fan. Well, I did go to the Cal game this year. That was that was pretty cool.
It doesn't have to be football either. Like stadium to go see a game, any kind of game.
I would say Red Rocks Amphitheater. It's one of my favorites. I'm more of a concert guy. Games, not so much. Let's see. I had some good seats. I went to the my girlfriend lives in St. Petersburg, and she actually went to Alabama, and a few of my other friends. We went to the South Florida Bama game this year, and we had some good seats at the game. So it's really about where I get a good seat at the game. How much I like the place.
Oh. Did you sit in the Bama section or the South Florida section when you went to the game?
We were in the club level, so it was kind of a mixture of people there. But I was mainly in the area where the food court was, and it was kind of raining that day on and off, so we were we didn't sit. There was no really here this side or that side. Alabama didn't really look that good at that point at all, but they made it out.
Parker, let me ask one before I forget to get this question in. So Parker hasn't shared it yet, but his little brother, younger brother, has played center and his football team for the past 3 years. Just finished up his 8th grade season,
and not to mention he has the biggest ego. He's been saying that he has all these D1 offers, but I'm like, no, you ain't getting no.
He's a number 1 8th grade center in all of Pope.
No, he's not. He thinks he.
But no,
he's got the ego. He's got an ego the size of the state of Alaska.
That's right.
And just for the record, Alaska is the biggest state by land area, at least.
So he couldn't. He's obviously in school today. Couldn't be here, but he wanted us to ask just a question about the importance of the center position on the field in the offense. Just any sort of insights of being in a center, how important the center is. We had one of our first interviews was Mark Bolger, who was obviously a quarterback. We asked him the same question, and he said he's the smartest guy. The center's the smartest guy on the field. Then he recognized what he just said, and he goes, second smartest guy on the field behind the quarterback. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So, can you ask the question again?
Yeah, sure. Just the importance of the center position.
Just in short term, the importance.
Yeah, because I don't know.
I would say, obviously the quarterback is really important. The quarterback is definitely probably the most important position, but the center position is unique in a sense that the quarterback gives you the play, and then you tell everybody else what to do. You keep people. It depends on the team. Some teams the quarterback makes the call. Some teams the center makes the call. But at the end of the day, you have to get the ball to the quarterback. The security of the football is the number one item. Securing the football. Don't lose the football. Ball security. I hear it in my sleep sometimes, but. The center, it really all stems, everybody with you at that position, you're put into a leadership role without really asking for it. So, it's really at that point, it's what are you going to take that role, and are you going to be someone that people want to follow? Or are you going to follow others? Cause you really, you really have an opportunity to take it and run with it. And, you're only as good as the people around you. So, me as a center, I was fortunate, to be considered a great player. But then again, I was not able to do anything without either of the two guys next to me, so it all works together, and offensive line are made look bad or made look good. Nick Marshall, Trey Mason, those guys made us look really good sometimes when maybe we weren't doing our best. But it's only as the offensive line offenses are only going to go as far as your leadership goes. I think at Auburn right now, and the way college football is, with the transfer portal and the NIL and all this other stuff, I mean, you're kind of seeing a lack of leadership, because it's becoming more and more individualized. I mean, you look at Auburn right now, and I think one of the most concerning things for me coming out of this season is what we did against New Mexico State, and then coming back what we did against Auburn. What we did against Alabama. I mean, that tells me that we maybe do not have the leadership that is required, because when you get in a battle for those tough games where maybe you don't want to be there, the cupcakes, like you literally, you're only gonna, like, your dogs got to step up and got to bring everybody around them and got to get everybody going. And that was the position that the center position is naturally given that leadership opportunity. But, I've seen good ones, I've seen bad ones, but at the end of the day, as a center, it's really your responsibility to get everybody on the same page, to make sure everybody knows their assignment, and to hold everybody accountable. Because at the end of the day, you have to know what everybody's doing. So if you don't know, like the way you learn the game, I mean, I would encourage him to literally, learn defenses, learn, blitzes. I mean, this guy does this. Here's what's happening next. Cause it's all about, knowing, it's not going to change between now and the NFL. I mean, it's, there's little, odds and ends here and there, but, the core roots of it all is going to be the same. So, I would say the center position is, obviously one of the most important on the field, but on offense, if all 11 aren't doing what they're supposed to do, it's not going to work.
I need to get to a rant, if you don't mind. Have you seen the college football playoff rankings?
I have.
Ugh, dude, no, they put friggin' Alabama and Texas in the same friggin' thing. Like, take it friggin' Alabama out because friggin' Alabama lost to friggin' Texas, and put friggin' FSU in,
Yeah, I kind of felt like that was the right thing to do, but monetarily, I think the NCAA did not feel the same way. I mean, but who knows? There's a lot out of control right now, in my opinion.
So in conclusion, the ranking committee should not have put Texas and Alabama in, considering the fact that Texas beat Alabama,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, has anybody talked about how they're going to a 12 game, and that's going to be 4 more games for some of these teams? I mean, if they go from, what are the players getting paid more now? I mean, right. It's going to be, the combine's going to be starting by the time they get done with the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is, I don't know how it's going to work. But I guess that's above my pay grade.
This is going to be a fun question. So as a player, is 4 more games really hard? But I guess actually, no, hold on. Wait, actually, wait, hold on. So the round of 12, then the round of 6, the round of, right? And then
it'll be 12, 8, 4, and then championship. And it'll 8 teams. You'll have 4 games playing. The way I understand it now, you'll have 4 games. You'll have 4 teams that get a bye, and you'll have 4 teams, or 8 teams playing 4 games, and then it'll be essentially the Elite 8, and then the Final 4, and then the championship. So I'm not sure what they're going to call it, but.
So, okay, this is going to be a fun question. I'm actually going to make it a two-parter. Part one: who has the most obnoxious fans?
Mississippi State.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
they shake the heck out of those cowbells. But
Yeah,
did you?
How do you drink your beers when you got to hold a damn cowbell all day? Is my question.
Because I was actually at the game that Auburn blew against Mississippi State 2 years ago. But
Yeah.
and so I got to go on the field because my grandfather, he knows someone who was the athletic director at Mississippi State. I mean, athletic trainer. Sorry.
Trainer.
So my grandfather compared those things to cicadas. You know. But anyways, But here's a cool little
I can
tidbit.
see Dad's not liking those.
Did you know? So at Mississippi State, you would think that they'd just shake the heck out of those things like all day long. But did you know that there are certain times where you're not supposed to shake the cowbell, like when the center's about to snap the ball?
Yeah, I think that's just a tough rule to enforce. But I would say, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's just, it's what they do. I would have to have like some kind of tool belt to carry that thing around all day, but I would definitely lose it for sure. At some point, I'd be like, all right, well, I'll just get another one next week. I mean, do they hand those things out like shakers? At Mississippi State?
It's like a special tradition how they get them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing could really be used as a weapon. I mean, there's no telling how much longer they're going to let
You
them.
might be onto something. We might need to start a business here of like creating holsters for those things that they can wear around their waist and everything. I might start selling
That's what
them.
I'm saying. I mean, I don't know how you carry that, your drinks and whatever else. It just seems somewhat like a lot to keep up with.
Okay, now who has the least obnoxious fans?
I mean, they're all pretty. I think every fan base, I mean, even Auburn included, it's got their bad fans. I mean, you go to. I mean, honestly, I take that back. I mean, most obnoxious is, I would say, probably Georgia.
So the least no way, because you said the most obnoxious was Mississippi.
Well, he just changed it to Georgia.
Oh yeah.
I would say the most disrespectful are Georgia.
Then
you got people barking at your family and spitting on them, and it's like dogs in a cage. I mean, Mississippi State, they're kind of annoying with the whole cowbell deal. I mean, but every fan base has got bad fans. I mean,
which makes me wonder, have you experienced a Gator fan?
I've had maybe a few, but not necessarily. No, I haven't firsthand.
So which would be worse, a Gator fan or a dog fan?
I would say a dog fan.
Exactly.
Parker,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Parker.
Okay.
We've established that he didn't get to go and experience playing in Ben Hill Griffin.
Okay, so like I said, my dad's an FSU guy.
Because they would pee on you too.
So he's been telling me that Gator fans are horrible human beings, Because when my dad was
bad life choices.
Have I told you that my dad? I told you my dad was an FSU guy, right?
That.
So,
Yes.
anyways, that means he went to the. So he's been going to games. Well, my grandfather. Well, sorry, so his father, my paternal grandfather, has been going to FSU games for who knows how long.
Long time.
But anyways, so that means they would go to the Florida and Miami games every single year, no matter where it was. So, and my dad told me that some of the Gator fans literally first they trashed my granddad's car, and then they chucked batteries at my dad.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, they're
there you go.
But anyways, but all hate aside, who has the nicest fan base? The opposite of would the opposite of obnoxious be nice? Is that right?
Maybe most hospitable fan base.
So
nicer place to
who
play.
has the most hospitable fan base? Like the most welcoming fan base?
I'd probably say Texas A&M. Their fan base was very respectful. I would. This is all. I mean, I don't I see people today and, they're like, oh, you're Reese, Roll Tide. And I'm like, look, Roll Tide. I mean, it don't really, I look at it through a different filter, different lens,
So you don't let fans get under your skin, right?
Yeah. I mean, not at all. I mean, it's tough for me to watch football.
Because I'm trying to convince my family to take me to Gainesville if and or when that happens again, but they won't do it because,
Nope.
And then I have another quick story. So you remember a year ago when Alabama played Texas A&M in Bryant-Denny?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually went to that game, and but before you ask, here's why. So my grandfather has a friend, you probably know him. His name is Brian Barrett. I don't know if you know him. But anyway, no, because he works with the United Egg Producers, and if you remember correctly, my grandfather did some stuff for them. But anyways, he's a Texas A&M guy, and he had tickets to the Bama game, and he gave us those tickets. So me, my grandmother, grandfather, and brother went to the Texas A&M Alabama game, and. So, I wanted to accomplish one thing while I was there, meet Big Al. Anyways, we went to Elephant. By the way, sorry this story is going on. Sorry this story is kind of rambling. But anyways, we went to Elephant Stomp, their little pregame pep rally, and the Bama fans let me cut in front of them to see Big Al. But anyways, so
what'd you think?
Oh, yeah, he was nice. But anyways, so like when we got to the parking deck, there were some hooligans, and then there were some hooligans outside, like saying, "Oh, we're gonna beat you," and blah 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 blah. But I just let it slide. I'm like you. I don't let. I'm like I just
outside noise doesn't affect you.
No, fans don't affect me. I just think of it like, oh, they're just fans being fans. So that's why I'll be able to take to handle Gainesville because. But anyways, sorry. So
yeah, but you'll go there and you won't wear garnet and gold. That's a totally different ballgame.
No.
You were in Tuscaloosa wearing A&M colors. That's no threat. Show up wearing orange and blue.
But anyways, so go back to it's hard to watch football. Why is that?
Because I, watching the game as having the career that I had, people will say, well, what's going on? And why is this happening? And they want your professional opinion. And, you can't honestly tell from the TV most of the time. Sometimes you can, but, I'm used to watching the game in a film room when I have a clicker in my hand and I can go back and forth and I can watch the end zone and there's so many different things. I mean, the running back could take a bad angle. The quarterback could take a bad drop. I mean, it depends on the play. You don't know the play and one bad step, it could mean something. I mean, there's so much that goes into football and the plays and watching what's going on. And unless you have, all the views and you can see it and you can rewind it, over and over and over and really go through every position and see what's going on. It's hard to give a professional, opinion for what's going on. So just kind of, I would say, this year, as far as the Auburn games that I watched, I mean, it's probably less than 3 or 4, as far as I listened to more on the radio, than I did watch, but it's somewhat difficult to watch the games and get into it without all the views.
So back to Kyle Field. So what fans do, like when the home team comes out, it's a chorus of cheers, but when the visiting team comes out, it's a chorus of boos.
Mm-hmm.
Is that do they still boo the opposing team when they come out the tunnel at Kyle Field, or are they just silent?
No, they will not boo at A&M. They do not. That's part of their tradition there. They do shh. but they will not. They have, I guess, it's a respect deal. They don't review. They don't boo the opposing team.
Do they follow the rules at A&M? Like, because okay, I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus here, but
here comes the bus.
So I went to Vanderbilt, and there was a woman just like, she pulls out a vape and starts, doing the thing. So I look over to my grandmother and I say that, and she says, did you say anything? And I said no. But anyways, do the Texas A&M fans, do they don't smoke or vape or none of that, right?
I'm sure there's some that do.
And then a few weeks later, during the Bama game, there was the guy in front of us was vaping, and then he and my dad started going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and like what I'm saying.
Never mind not throwing anybody under the bus.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did. Okay. I'm sorry.
I was trying to enforce the rules.
Okay.
Yeah, no, people are going to break rules. Rules are made to be broken.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not one of those people that likes to rat. I don't like ratting people out.
Yeah, no,
But anyways,
unfortunately, some people out there just have zero respect for other people, and they think the rules don't apply, and you put rules into place, and they just break them just because they can, and that's unfortunate, but that's the world that we live in. I mean, as far as rules in college football, I mean, with the transfer portal and NIL, I mean, it seems like there are no rules anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years with all that.
By the way, I'm sorry for all the side chatter, but anyways, so on this podcast, we are all sports fanatics. So the last question we ask, as a fan, what do you think is the all-time greatest moment in sports?
All-time greatest moment in sports. I'm going to say for me is probably the kick six. I'd say. Just to. I mean, there's been a lot of great moments over the years, but I would say, for me personally, to be a part of that was, something that hopefully it's never topped or whatnot. If it is, that'll be pretty awesome to see. But, for that to happen in that game, in that environment, that rivalry that we have between Alabama, I mean, was, I would say one of the greatest moments. But, I mean, there's, you look at like Super Bowls and stuff that's happened in those. I mean, there's some pretty amazing things that have happened over the years. But personally, I'd say the kick six, just because I was a part of it.
Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Dismukes. It's been really fun to chat.
Absolutely, Parker.
It's been way too long, my friend.
Absolutely, and you just let me know who you want. Whoever I can help with getting on, I'll reach out and make an introduction and get you guys tuned in with them. Love the show and everything you got going on. Keep kicking butt.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank y'all. War Eagle.
All right, fanatics. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Fan and Fanatic. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for all of your support. Don't forget to follow or subscribe, or whatever your podcast app says to do. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For my broadcast partner, Ryan Grelecki, this is Parker Grelecki saying, game, set, match.